This morning, we're going to start right off with keeping you healthy, okay? Especially through this upcoming cold and flu season. Our first guest this morning is Dr. Charles Gerba, who is a frequent author on subjects like pollution science and environmental microbiology. He joins us live via satellite this morning. Welcome, Dr. Gerba. How are you?
Oh, fine.
Listen, doctor, let me ask you first. The difference between the cold and the flu.
Yeah, there's a big difference. The cold is much milder. You get a stuffy, runny nose, maybe a light fever, mild cough. But the flu is much more serious. You're going to run a much higher fever, much more serious cough. You're going to get fatigued and have muscle and joint pains. And the probability of mortality is fairly high with some of the influenza viruses, depending on which one hits us this year.
And doctor, what can we expect this flu season? I'm hearing that it's already bad in different parts of the world.
Yeah, Australia's had a really bad flu season already. More cases of influenza than has ever been reported in Australia. And so we're anticipating it could be a bad flu season this year, but it's always difficult to predict.
Now, we're watching some video of hand washing. I understand that the main ways cold and flu viruses are transmitted, 30% of us already have cold viruses on our hands.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how effective your hands are in transmitting cold and flu viruses. You touch surfaces which other people have sneezed on or touched before. They leave the virus behind. You touch the surface, you get the virus on your hands, and then you bring your hands to your eyes, nose, or mouth and very effectively infect yourself by doing that.
So I believe 30% of us have a cold virus on our hands right now, but only 39% of us are using hand sanitizers. This is something all of us should have around, right?
Oh, absolutely, because we don't wash our hands enough, particularly hand sanitizers like Germ-Free 24, because we found these things will last up to 24 hours in preventing the spread of cold and flu viruses like in the home and offices. And you can't wash your hands everywhere you go. So that's why I am a real promoter of hand sanitizers, because of convenience and because it doesn't seem to, you have to use it all the time to really be highly effective.
Doctor, what about some other tips on combating cold and flu germs?
Well, the main thing is really hand hygiene is a good way to do it. The other way to do it is prevent the spread in the home. Try to use paper towels if anybody in the home has the cold or flu, because cloth towels, if they're reused, can very effectively move a virus from one person to another. So that's one of the other keys. Try to use disposable towels or disinfecting wipes as much as you can so you don't spread the virus around in your household.
Now, as a germ expert yourself, maybe you can tell us how you avoid getting sick.
Well, I've always found the best defense is bringing a hand sanitizer everywhere I go, particularly if I go out in public all the time. You're always going to be touching surfaces which maybe hundreds of other people have touched, and they're putting any virus or bacteria they have on those surfaces. And so always bring one with you everywhere you go.
All right, doctor, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And of course, everybody, do get a flu shot. It is just so important this time of year. And we want to thank Dr. Gerba for joining us and reminding us about those tips, because it is just so easy to catch cold and to catch the flu this time of year. So we want to do everything we can to stay healthy.